came from a hell home. Growing up in the Bronx with my mother, there was a lot of stuff going on at home and, a lot of physical, verbal abuse, mental abuse. You don't have nowhere to go, and it's either the streets or foster care. Which one would you rather pick? That's when I started, expressing myself more verbally and try to reach out for help. Youth that go to foster care that don't have parents, they left behind. There's not a refuge, there's nowhere to go, there's no safe haven. Sometimes in foster care, you have to run into a couple of demons before you can meet the angels.
I came here when I was 6 weeks old from Barbados. Barbados was celebrating 50 years of independence in 2016. I wanted to then return back, visit family. Made sure that I checked out even before traveling. I went to Federal Plaza in Manhattan. I don't want to leave. It's going to be a problem coming back into the country or anything, because at the same time I had already applied for U.S. citizenship. They put the stamp on my passport and said, you're good to go. When I came back, I remember going through the immigration, and the guy asked me if I'd ever been in trouble with the law. Yeah, I have. There's nothing serious, never spent any time in jail or anything like that. And then he said, you're gonna have to follow me. He took me out of the line and brought me into another room. Then they placed me in handcuffs and, left me there. I was brought to a facility called Bergen County Jail. I felt like at the lowest point in my life ever.
They say with innocent until proven guilty. Well, it's innocent until proven innocent in my case. I was in the Bronx and inside my home, and I decided to go outside to the store. So I went back inside, sat down for a little while. I'd say about 3, 4, 5 minutes later, a door come kicking in, and you just hear boom. And so I look, and it's 2 officers coming right in. 2 minutes later, they placed me inside of a police car. I'm still confused, not knowing what's going on. They took me straight to the precinct. So as I'm sitting in the cell, he come by and passed me this paper, and it said armed robbery. So I'm just standing there looking at this paper. So I'm saying to myself, oh brother, I'm in some serious trouble now.
The work we do at Juvenile Rights Practice, we represent kids from 0 to 26 years old, just about. One of the things that the Juvenile Rights Practice has done is really tried to advocate through impact litigation to cure some of the systemic issues that girls experience in foster care. We've worked on issues about permanency and placement in apartments. We worked on issues related to girls in residential treatment centers that may have exposure to trafficking or unsafe environments. Deborah's situation is not really different from that. Teenage girls get displaced from their families. And like so many teenagers, she needs support. Adolescents need support to grow up, to be thriving adults. She came into care and she received an attorney on day 1, and that attorney has stayed with her for the past 5 years throughout the pendency of her case. Her attorney joined with a social worker, and so when a teenager like Deborah comes into court, she knows that her voice is going to be heard. She knows that someone cares, and in fact, that's exactly what happened in her case. Where we can, we fight that fight. We sued the city a few years ago to get permanent plans for kids aging out of foster care. So she falls right in that category of kids who've benefited from our lawsuit, because we sued the city and we got them to agree to not let one kid leave foster care into homelessness. So we're at this place now where kids like Deborah leave foster care and they move into their own apartment, because we got the city to listen, we got the city to work strategies out with kids who need to plan ahead. And so she started planning for her independence at 16. And here she is at 19 in her own apartment. It's a great success story for her. She's claiming it as a success, and I claim it too.
I met James on one of our intake days. We go to the detention center and we meet whoever's case is going to be heard that afternoon. It became abundantly clear within a very short period of time of meeting James was that his mother had become a U.S. citizen when he was 9 years old. His father had died. He automatically derived citizenship. That's a clear deprivation of your constitutional rights as a U.S. citizen to be detained by an immigration enforcement agency. So at that point, we contacted ICE and we were like, you have detained a U.S. citizen, please release him. They admitted that we had enough probative evidence that they had to release him.
There have been ICE arrests for years, even under previous administrations. What's different now is everyone is a target. It's not just people with serious criminal convictions. It's not just repeat immigration violators who are detained by the immigration authorities. If I'm going through deportation, I don't have a right to an attorney. So the work that we do at Legal Aid I think is incredibly important. We're part of the New York Immigrant Family Unity Project, or NIFAP. It's the first in the country project to provide universal representation, meaning everybody in immigration detention gets an attorney. So with NIFAP, the change in people's lives has been dramatic. Before NIFAP, my chances of success as a detainee was about 3%. With a NIFAP attorney, it's over 50%. And we found 6 citizens who didn't even realize they were citizens, who were in detention on the verge of deportation just in the last year, and we managed to get them out of detention and out of removal altogether.
May 13th, 2015, Mr. Wilkerson was arrested for robbery in the first degree and quite a few other related charges. He was accused of actually holding a gun, pointing it at an individual. We were able to explain to the judge that there were 6 other people in the apartment, that he had been there the whole evening. The judge set $2,500 over $2,000 bail. It took 3 days, over 6 people to pitch in to come up with that amount of money. Just those 3 days being in jail were very difficult for him, difficult for his 12-year-old daughter, his 4-year-old daughter, and his wife.
It was very difficult.
When bail is unaffordable, people are detained just because they don't have money. I work with the Decarceration Project, which is Legal Aid Society's bail reform unit. In the next couple of months, we're going to have 1 attorney stationed in each of the 5 boroughs to challenge bail. And what we're looking to do is not just win individual clients' liberty, we are hoping to change the system. I think what sticks out to me about Terrence's case and how bail played a role in what happened was that they were able to make the case to the judge that there were these weaknesses in the case. So the judge was persuaded and set, in the sort of unfair universe of money bail, set what was fortunately a relatively low amount. And his partner, Shanique, we now know, immediately went to work trying to gather that money together.
It was a difficult time. Not as difficult as the other 2 years that we spent trying to exonerate him.
As far as the case and in the results, I think Terrence being able to post that bail, not being incarcerated, meant that he and Virginia and ultimately Mary were able to investigate scenes together, and I think helped him really be cloaked in that presumption of innocence that all of our clients deserve.
The foreperson tells us not guilty on all counts, not guilty on robbery, first degree, not guilty on robbery, and second degree, not guilty, 9 times not guilty. And it was.
I sat my head down beside every time I heard it.
And a tear went down.
Tears went down. It was emotional.
I don't think that I would have survived if I didn't have the lawyers that I have. They work hard, okay? Those are people that care. They show compassion. They try to help you. They make you feel like there is light at the end of the tunnel. It is gonna get sunny. You gotta keep pushing. These people is not even people, they're like family.
They were able to, prevent the government from doing what the government's agenda was doing. Like, they were able to speak for me when I didn't have a voice necessarily to speak for myself.
Yeah, they saved my life. They saved 25 years, 5 to 25 years of my life. They save lives. That's what they do.